Six Nations is back. My name is Mark. Let's talk rugby. Okay, so this game is the first game for these two teams in this year's Six Nations. It's going to be on Saturday at Twickenham, 4:45 kickoff GMT. That's UK and Ireland time. The last six between these teams, last year Scotland won 20-17 up in Edinburgh. 2021, England 6, Scotland 11 here at Twickenham. 2020, Scotland 6, England 13, so England winning up in Edinburgh. 2019, that crazy 38-all draw, Scotland coming back from 31-0 with a massive second half in that one. 2018, Scotland 25, England 13, again that one up in Edinburgh. 2017, England 61, Scotland 21. So that's the last time that England beat Scotland here at Twickenham. That result also a bit of an outlier compared to the last, how close it's been over the last 5 years. England would love to repeat that scoreline this time out. Scotland going to do everything they can to make sure that it doesn't happen and that they retain the Calcutta Cup. The odds for the game, England are 3-1 on favourites. Scotland 10-3. The draw is 28-1. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the two teams, starting with England. So fullback is Freddie Stewart. Right wing, Max Malins. Centres are Joe Merchant and Owen Farrell. Ollie Hassel-Collins is on the left wing. At 10, we have Marcus Smith. Scrum half is Jack Van Poortvliet. Into the forwards then, loose head Ellis Genge, Jamie George at hooker. Tight head is Kyle Sinclair. Second row is Maro Toji and Ollie Chesham. Back row is Lewis Ludlam, Ben Curry and Alex Dombrandt. Onto the bench then, they have a 5-3 split. You have Jack Walker, Mako Vunapola, Dan Cole, Nick Osikwe, Ben Earl, Ben Youngs, Ollie Lawrence and Anthony Watson. On to then the Scotland selection. So fullback you have Stuart Hogg. Right wing Kyle Steyn. The centres Hugh Jones and Sione Tuipulotu. On the left wing Duhan van der Merwe. At fly half you have Finn Russell. Scrum half Ben White. Into the forwards then we have Pierre Schoeman at loose head, George Turner at hooker and W.P. Nell is in there at tight head. The second row is Richie Gray and Grant Gilchrist. Back row is Jamie Ritchie, Luke Crosby and Matt Fagerson. On their bench they have a 5-3 split as well. You got Fraser Brown, Jamie Batty, Simon Bergen, Johnny Gray, Jack Dempsey, George Horn, Blair Kinghorn and Chris Harris there as well. So in terms of England, it's the first game in charge for Steve Borthwick following Eddie Jones' sacking. We've got no Mana Tuilagi in the team. Merchant preferred to him there. So instead of like the power that you get from Tuilagi, Merchant is going to bring a lot more kind of guile and a bit of pace there as well. Got Ollie Hassel-Collins on debut for this one. So it's going to be exciting to see him because he was tearing up in the Premiership. Ben Curry is in for his brother Tom, who's injured in the back row. He's only got like one previous cap, right? Yeah. Which was like a year and a half ago or something. Then we have Van Poortvliet starting over Youngs at 9. So Van Poortvliet, he kind of struggled a little bit in the autumn with the pace of test rugby. So it's going to be interesting to see how he copes with that. But they do have the experience of Youngs to bring on if they do need to change it. Then Ollie Chesham is there in the second row to partner Toji as well. So with a Toji beside him, he can kind of ease him into things there as well. I feel for Scotland, the Calcutta Cup holders, they're not gonna want to give that up lightly here. It is going to be a tough afternoon for them if they are gonna pull out yet another win at Twickenham, but they will have the confidence of not having lost there since 2017. We have no Xander Fagerson, a tight head for them. The forwards coach did say he was available, but he wasn't selected. So we're going to have to see whether he plays the next game in the tournament to see whether he really is up to full fitness. Ali Price has been left out of the matchday squad completely. We've got Ben White there at 9, who's been playing very well for London Irish, and then you've also got George Horn on the bench there as cover 2. So, and he's been going well for Glasgow. Also got Harris, who was kind of the very big defensive leader from outside centre for Scotland. He's on the bench. So it looks like Scotland are going for more of a attacking game with Hugh Jones there instead of him. Hugh Jones is definitely better going forward, but nowhere near as good defensively as Harris. So I think the message from Townsend is to attack. We've got Finn Russell back at 10 after he was left out for the autumn internationals. Blair Kinghorn's on the bench, so no debut for Ben Healy, who switched allegiance from not really switched allegiance. He played underage for Ireland, but he didn't play. He didn't get capped for Ireland. But he's in the squad, but not in the matchday squad. We've also got Stuart Hogg is straight back into the team, even though he's been out injured since kind of the end of December. But he's straight back into the starting team there, so they must be happy with his fitness. Hamish Watson, they're obviously not as happy with him. He had a run out for Edinburgh at the weekend, but it wasn't enough to convince them to put him in the matchday squad. In terms of how the two teams line up, experience-wise, in the backs, England have 168 to Scotland's 240, so Scotland definitely have a little bit of advantage there. In the forwards, it's a bit closer. England 262 to Scotland's 290. So the starting 15s, England have 430 to Scotland's 530. So Scotland with a little bit of an edge in the starting lineup, but then from the bench, England have 369 caps that they can bring on to Scotland's 284. So slightly more experience on the England bench for them to bring on. But England also have 2 players who are on debut. So Ollie Hassel-Collins, who's starting on the left wing, and then you have Jack Walker, who's going to come on at some stage at hooker for Jamie George. In terms of Scotland, they've got no debutants, but they have, there are a few players, the likes of Luke Crosby there with just 2 caps. Ben White has 9 caps. And then on the bench, then you have Jack Dempsey with 4 caps as well. In total, the matchday squads, England have 799 caps to Scotland's 814. So pretty evenly matched. It's just about kind of, whether those players are starting or on the bench really for the two teams. It's going to be, I think, another tight game between these two. It's going to be, I'm really looking forward to see how England are going to play under Steve Borthwick. He did a really good job at Leicester, turning that team around from, a complete basket case into Premiership champions. He's got, not that long to turn this England team around for the World Cup, but obviously, the RFU feel that it was better to go with him than to stick with Eddie Jones. And, a lot of the players have spoken well of him as well, the impact that he's had there. So it's going to be good to see what actually happens with them on the pitch. Gregor Townsend is kind of on the other end of the spectrum. He's been, oftentimes under pressure, especially because of his relationship with Finn Russell, that, those two seem to fall out, almost every time the Scotland squad comes together. There seems to be some story about those two falling out. So it will be kind of interesting to see, can they maintain their relationship, which, through the whole Six Nations. But like the 10s on these two teams, you have Marcus Smith and Finn Russell, probably the two most exciting 10s in the competition. So I'd expect this one to be a high scoring affair. What do you think? Who do you think is going to win, and what's your score prediction?